Vladimir has said, can we please touch on repaying costs for CPD as an employed osteopath? How many months or years later can these costs be recovered from the employee who's leaving the business? Does every cost of a course need its own agreement in order to enter into a loan agreement with the business owner? Right, so I don't know if that's clear. What I think Vlad is saying there is, I as an employer send you on a CPD course and I pay for it. What right have I got to recover that cost if you leave my business?
And he's the employer here, isn't he, rather than the employee? Have I got that right?
I think that's the way he's looking at it.
Yeah, so we would do a normal standard training repayment agreement. You've got to have something contractually.
Yes.
Sometimes I've seen them in contracts of employment. It's better to have it in it only needs to be a 1.5-page, 2-page letter. Mm-hmm. You can have a standard letter, but just you should, if it's a decent chunk of money that you want to recover, it's good to get them to sign it. Right. Because if you haven't got something in writing that they've signed or acknowledged or understand, then it's harder to recover.
So if it's a repeating thing, if you're going to send somebody on a CPD training thing every year, you could do that initially at the outset with your first contract. It could be part of the contract or in a schedule to the contract.
Absolutely,
or something. If it suddenly occurs to me that I need you trained to use this piece of equipment or to carry out this particular skill, it can just be a letter signed by both of us to say that you're going to do it, I'm going to pay for it, and if you leave within 3 years, you have to pay back a proportion of the cost.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Or something like that.
And it's usually 2 years, and it's usually on a sliding scale, so maybe you pay 75% in the first 6 months of being got your training and leaving, and then it scales down. Yeah. And that's usually found to be reasonable as long as it's clear on the face of it. And the onus is always on employers to be clear, and that's why these agreements are really important, whether it's a contractual agreement or employment contract, because if it's grey, often a tribunal or a court will find in favour of the employee because they'll say it wasn't obvious.